Hello everybody. Good morning. Another shitcast here. Me and my random squad as I'm playing some Helldivers for the purpose of this video. You know, spread some democracy, because there's a lot of democracy happening at the moment. And a lot of concerning things happening at the moment too, like this the backlash from Charlie Kirk from the Republican right has been swift and fierce, and one has to wonder are we going a little too far? Are the Republicans going a little too far with this, with the firing of like Jimmy Kimmel and stuff? Because I agree with it on principle that their ratings are in the tubes and the company has the right to fire him. Like that's not in dispute, but it's the culture. I don't know why I just did that. It's the culture around it. It's a culture around it. For years we stood up against cancel culture and said that it's wrong, and now we seem to be participating in cancel culture. And there's definitely a good argument to be had that the left has certainly made this paragon, and the old proverb of it will always swing the other way, so be careful, is very true right now, because that's exactly what's happening. And especially after Charlie Kirk. But there's another side to that argument too, and this is the side that I find myself mostly aligning with. That Jimmy Kimmel and news agencies and stuff like him. Now he's more entertainment, but they discuss like current events, and they're supposed to be making fun of current events, and they don't seem to do any of that anymore. Or and when they do get political, they don't take takes at both sides. It's very one-sided, and it's obvious for anybody watching that is the case. And it's just, I think a lot of people have just had enough with it. And unfortunately, with the side effect of that is literally, I am not in a good spot. Oh boy. Okay. And a big side effect of that is literally people having enough, especially me, with these fucking with these news agencies just lying. Like you can, like, it doesn't matter who it is, Fox News, CNN, they all lied or heavily biased. The only grace that I give Fox News is that they're upfront with their bias. They don't pretend like they're not Republican or that they're catering to a Republican audience. Whereas you'll have somebody like CNN trying to tell you that they're impartial. Yeah, okay. And they have like one establishment fucking Republican guy on there to, you know, basically a reverse diversity hire. And the issue, like, and this is the issue we're finding ourselves in. This is the core of the issue. This is why ultimately Charlie Kirk was assassinated, was because these guys would constantly go on and call their opponents fascists and Nazis constantly. So although Charlie's views are definitely open to critique and criticism, and the black people definitely have the absolute right to challenge and, you know, say like you're comparing 1949 blacks to slavery and shit like that. Like they have a right to say like, sounds a little racist, bruh. Like it's and especially when you hear it for the first time, it fucking definitely does sound racist. Like I've seen the clip, and I'm over here as a kid, I'm like, ooh, that's a little spicy. I would have worded that differently. It doesn't matter his intention. It's literally, it's the way it's framed, and it's the argument that you're making. And you can, and definitely there is a legitimate criticism that Charlie lacked tact in his arguments. But he was definitely not a Nazi and a fascist. And that's exactly what the news and Jimmy Kimmel and all these people painted him as. And the reason, and again, Jimmy Kimmel went on the air, the core of his firing, and tried to accuse Republicans or Republicans of assassinating one of their prominent young thought leaders. Even though even though the evidence just was not there to support it yet, it was early in the investigation. And we finally did get all the evidence, we come to find out he was participating in furry porn and furry games and all kinds of stupid shit. So Jimmy Kimmel went on the air and basically lied to his audience once again and called his opponents Nazis, fascists. And this is a problem that the news is just doing in general, and it needs to stop. There's a point where these things go beyond First Amendment protections. They're using the public broadcast, like public airwaves, to literally lie about their opponents. They're not participating in journalism. And I have the, like, any Canadian citizen, any honest Canadian citizen understands and knows that even here in our country, our news does the exact same thing, and it's even worse because our government actually funds our news, like openly funds our news, so they have an incentive to lie and decide with the government, and it's not healthy. Like, we need to regulate the news. That's what I'm in favor of ultimately. That's where I'm going with this. We need to regulate the news. I've proposed the idea that it should be against the law for the news to report anything that isn't factual. We need to get rid of this First Amendment protection nonsense for news agencies. You don't have a First Amendment right, in my opinion. I'm not saying legally, I'm saying in my opinion. You shouldn't have a First Amendment right to literally go and lie to the populace and whip them up into a mob mentality to where people are getting assassinated. Because this could have easily been Fox News doing this, and a prominent liberal leader getting knocked off on the podium because they're calling their opponents communists, fascists, fucking angry leftists. Now, unfortunately, they can actually grab the evidence to support their claims. And this is the issue in current liberal circles. They just will not refuse to address or accept that they have a radical, extreme portion of their voting base, and they don't want to reconcile with that. They don't want to deal with the problem, because they don't want their votes to go. And doing that has had consequences for them. And I think, which you can, again, and I feel like I'm offensive, like I'm doing the wishy-washy fence sitting thing, but I'm really trying not to. You can, because of their refusal, you can understand why the current administration is taking a more militaristic approach, because it's unfortunate that they had to take that approach to begin with. And that's the thing, that nobody wants this militaristic approach. It's the unfortunate consequence of continuous government dickery and corruption. So, circling back to what I was originally talking about, though, we need laws for the news, that they need to factually report on what's happening, and that's it. They're not allowed to have an opinion. They're not allowed to give you an opinion when they're producing news anymore. There's no their opinion. It's the facts of what's happening when it's happening, etc. They need to be saying a direct language like, we don't have all the facts. They need to be required to report that it was an African American man who assaulted so and so. Like, there is no more of this. We get a First Amendment right to be wrong when you're a journalist. It's time they get regulated, and it's time that there's actual consequences, because there's actual consequences for society. Like, we have a whole generation of people who think half of the country, they're fighting the goddamn fucking resistance. We have people on X comparing Antifa to the veterans who stormed Normandy. Absolute fucking insult. Absolute enraging. You know, if you've ever picked up a book and you knew the first thing about that generation, they would have skull fucked Antifa tomorrow. Like, literally, Antifa wouldn't even fucking exist. They would have skull fucked them to death. It's absolutely enraging that they use them as a political piece in that way. There's no shame. And it gets old. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. As always, if you like the content, subscribe. And let me know in the comments, do you agree or disagree? Should we be regulating the news? And I'm talking about all the news, like Fox, all of them. I'm talking about all of them. Like, this is not a liberal issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is a we need to be responsible civil servants or citizens, and we need to take control of these narratives. We need to heal our young people, and we need to come together. Anyway, all right. This is Justin signing off. Take care.